Gary Kubiak influence lives on with D'Amico Ryans. It was even more alive and well with Mike McDaniel yesterday as the Dolphins arrived for joint practices. McDaniel began his coaching career in Houston. He had some good things to say about the Texans, also had some funny things to say to the surprise of no one. What makes the Gary Kubiak pipeline so impressive? And let's hear from the man himself. Let's revisit conversation with Gary Kubiak right here in the locker room, which is where we go right now.
Yeah, it's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source. We the pulse of the city too. Landlock. Got the game in the headlock. Localize every time. Can't stop. Won't stop. Yeah.
Welcome to the locker room, number one source for Texans daily digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 on Sports Radio 610 on In the Loop, 10 to 2 Central. For all you time zone changers. And that is the number one source for radio content. Check out our interview with MJ Stewart straight off the practice field today. It was nice to get to know him, go beyond the helmet, as D'Amico Ryans often says. Also, we'll get into a little bit of back and forth with Mike McDaniel that I had that is very non-traditional when it comes to NFL head coaches. Not sure that I would have asked D'Amico that question, but to each his own. And that's something I want to start off with. By the way, if you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome. Please like, subscribe, ride along. It is the number one source for Texans daily digital content, whether you're a Texans fan or not. It will let you know, I promise you. Give you as close of an idea of what's going on, the storylines, the talking points, etc., with this team. So subscribe, like, ride along. But that's where I kind of want to start. The Gary Kubiak, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay type of pipeline where you can connect all these guys. I think the special thing about it, and I was talking about this with my co-host John Lopez today, there's really no formula, and there are differences between all of them. It's not like the New England, the Patriot South, that the Texans copied so long, where you can spot a Bill Belichick assistant wannabe and failure from a mile away. Sometimes they don't even have to say a word. They look stiff. They come across as stiff. They have these little buzz things that they say, and you can spot them from a mile away. Like if you told me, if you brought out like a lineup, like a criminal lineup of guys, and you told me, point out the one who's an aspiring head coach that coaches under Bill Belichick, I'll point to him right there. That's him, that's him, that's him, that's him. You can tell. Joe Judge, Bill O'Brien, Eric Mangini, like all these guys, you can tell. That's not the case with this Shanahan Kubiak pipeline. You have Robert Saleh, you have D'Amico Ryans, you have Mike McDaniel. You can throw McVay in there. You can throw O'Connell. Like there's just it's a diverse personality that has substance as soon as they start talking ball, but there's not like a set mannerism, a set tone, right? We've talked to Matt Burke, Robert Saleh cusses, D'Amico Ryans doesn't. Mike McDaniel's a little bit hokier than Bobby Slowick and some of these other guys. They all have different personalities, but they all kind of philosophically they line up, but they also have some differences. And I think that's the beauty of this Gary Kubiak / Kyle Shanahan pipeline, which I guess you can connect D'Amico Ryans to as well, for sure with Shanahan and the Kubiak thing. It's all kind of a full circle thing. And I think that's why people are excited that the Texans went in this direction when they hired D'Amico Ryans. One of the reasons. Let me read. There's a lot of reasons to be excited about it, but I think that's one of them, that this pipeline has been successful, and among many things, people seem to like that. I asked Gary Kubiak about this, a friend of the show, when he joined me after D'Amico was hired, and I just asked him about mentoring kids and all that type of stuff. Here's what Kubiak had to say about that when he hopped in the locker room. And you can go back and check out that video if you so desire. Here is Gary Kubiak after we finally got that phone to work, talking about his desire to mentor folks.
In the NFL, you're trying, I don't want to say covering your own ass, but there's a lot of survival there, and there's a lot of stuff you want to figure out. You've had many guys in the building and with you that have gone on to be NFL guys. At what point was like mentoring important to you, or was it always something that was important to you?
Well, I hope it was always important to me. I mean, I think I don't think along the way sometimes you really know who's in that room with you, and as coaches, your responsibilities and the things you have going on have got you consumed, and all of a sudden you got a kid sitting in your room who's sitting in a corner, not even sitting at the head table with the rest of the coaching staff, and you have no idea this kid 10 years later is going to be an NFL head coach. So that's why you just try to surround yourself with good guys that are passionate. It's like I look back at Robert Saleh. I mean, I hired Robert Saleh because I got through with an interview in Houston, went up to my office, and he was sitting at a desk, and I had no idea who he was. And I asked somebody, who's the kid sitting in that room over there? And they said, well, this is Robert Saleh. He's been here with Coach Capers and Vic, so I went over and introduced myself, and he's just like, Coach, I just want to work and I just want to learn. And I'm like, okay, kid, let's go to work, And I had no idea, and look at him now. But, I think, that's why you need to be receptive to young people and open yourself up to, dialogue with them, because you never know who's sitting in that room and what they're capable of doing.
I love that from Coach Kubiak right there. I absolutely love that from Coach Kubiak, and I think that's kind of the same attitude that Kyle Shanahan has, and I think the Belichick outlook, it seems like he keeps a lot close to the vest, and there's a lot of I got this. I think Bill O'Brien was insecure and didn't want to hire anyone worth a damn. That's why he went back to, and I don't like bringing it back to Bob too much, but that's why he would go back to college and hire some random ass assistant coach like John Perry to coach receivers. So I do like that there doesn't seem to be a lot of ego. There seems to be a lot of rooting for each other's success, whether it's McDaniel for D'Amico, vice versa. There does seem to be a lot of rooting for others, and just substance, valuing things that matter instead of stuff that doesn't. The over-romanticized blowhard element of it that we know all too well. Let's hear from Mike McDaniel. This was Mike McDaniel today talking about his journey to Houston, and it's actually an interesting one. At that time, he had some substance issues, and he was at a different phase in his life. It's come full circle. The place where it began and the place now where he is as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, coming back to that field. Here's Mike McDaniel talking about what Houston means to him.
Well, I mean, it's a huge part of the journey. The days of watching, there's invaluable lessons in every step that you take in the National Football League, but to be a part of Gary Kubiak's staff and watch how it was to come to a place and make a culture the way, really a reflection of, what you want the team to be and who you are, to get my first taste at, working in a position group, the receiver room, to have Andre Johnson as a 25-year-old. I had to quickly learn something to offer him as far as value of coaching. I had to know what I was talking about really quick.
Some real good stuff from Mike McDaniel there, and be sure to go back and check it out. He's a fun guy to listen to, whole court and talk ball for a number of reasons that we'll get to in just a sec. We'll break down the practice on the live stream at 9 o'clock. If you missed the breakdown of day one, go back and check that out. Day 2 is today. Going to get a little Mike McDaniel, D'Amico Ryans. I'm actually about to head up to the field right now, maybe talk to McDaniel again, but probably about – I kind of want to ask him about using Pro Football Focus as a resource because I've heard him mention it a couple of times. How much of a resource is it? How much of a gray area is it? I know Bobby Slowick worked there, so I'm kind of intrigued by that. But I'm very intrigued by this whole pipeline. I'm very intrigued to see how the Texans do. It's really easy to root for all of these guys that have been connected to Gary Kubiak. So Mike McDaniel, he's like very few coaches. He loves to I described him as hokey to Bobby Slowick, and Bobby kind of laughed, but Bobby knows the deal. Everyone knows the deal. And I decided to test my luck and ask Mike McDaniel the question that everyone wants to know. The game formerly known as F, Marry, Kill. If you brought up Gary Kubiak, D'Amico Ryans, and Bobby Slowick, who he knows very well, which one would he, and I rephrased it, which one would he hang out with for a night, ghost, and go on vacation with? I asked Mike McDaniel this, and here is how that interaction went, courtesy of my coworker, Sean Bajani, who did the Lord's work and got this on his cell phone.
I'm excited to see what SPF he's wearing out in the streets. Gotta be hot. So you 75 plus.
You can't say F, Marry, Kill anymore, but hang out with, ghost, and go on vacation. D'Amico, Kubiak, and Slowick.
Ghost.
Look at the thought he's putting into this. Look, he's really thinking about this. This guy's the absolute best. All right, here we go.
Ghost and Slowick because he would get over it the quickest. What were the two other options?
Come on, Mike.
Vacation with and just a one night hangout. D'Amico and Kubiak.
Two elite guys to hang out with. Pick your poison on either one because I think there's merit to both. I'd probably just have them both to dinner and then vacation with them both and not answer your question concretely.
Sorry for the load issues. You can check it out on my Twitter at Landry Locker or on Bajani's Twitter. Fun to watch the practice. There are a lot of takeaways. CJ Stroud, we'll see how he bounces back today. Had a good day. Not a great day, but the offensive line, big part of that. Robert Woods, by the way, he's joining the show today, 11:20 on the Odyssey app, Sports Radio 610, 11:20. Robert Woods straight off the practice field. He's going to join myself and John Lopez live straight off the field. That's why you need to subscribe, like, right along, because we got you covered for the best Texans coverage. Day 2 of practice today, preseason game on Saturday at 3. Appreciate everyone for coming through. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and ride along. It's fun to be a part of the Shanahan / Kubiak tree. It's much better than Patriot South. And even if the Texans weren't a part of that, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in this together. Appreciate you for coming through.
Localize every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too. Landlocked, got the game in the headlock. Localize every time, can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top 2 and we not too. Plugged in daily digital on YouTube. We got taste for days, opinions to give. We got